Welcome to Broken Top Golf Club in beautiful Central Oregon, and welcome to Peter Jacobsen's Legends of Oregon. Spectacular day in the high desert for some of the great athletes in Oregon history to gather from around the country to reconnect with their university and with Oregon fans everywhere, including the 100 golfers here today, all playing this pristine golf course for the Legends Championship right here on the Oregon Sports Network. Hello everyone, Joe Johnsonte here with you once again. Michael Burke will be along in a little while, as it's now time to catch up with the Legends of Oregon and play a little golf along the way. This annual tournament, created by Oregon alum Peter Jacobsen, expected to raise more than $200,000 for Oregon athletics. And it's a way for Jake, winner of 7 tour events and 2 champions tournaments, to not only give back, but to help the Legends of Oregon do the same. From Dave Wilcox, Dan Fouts, and Bill Musgrave on the football field, to Dick Harder, Terrell Brandon, and A.D. Smith from the hardwood, these legends and others gather on the eve of the tournament to be auctioned off to groups of Oregon supporters, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to compete with the legend of their choice the following day. Upon an early arrival, the teams make their way to the range in time for one of the annual highlights of the Legends Tournament, as Jacobsen takes center stage along with his Golf Channel sidekick, sign boy Matt Greaser, by putting on a clinic for all the players.
Where's our other buddy? This little, come on out here, bud.
Hey, what's your name?
What's your name, pal? Steven?
Steven.
How are you, Steven? Good to see you, pal. How about the 52 degree? Would you like to take a few shots from a pro? Like him, not me?
Nice. Whoa.
Beauty.
All right, Steven.
Nice,
Awesome.
dude.
Nice going, Steven.
Fist pump. Do you know how to do the
Nice.
explosion? It hits and then it explodes. Hit it and then whoosh, there it is. All right, good. Nice job, buddy. Way to
Steven,
go.
thank you.
Steven.
Thank you. Good job. Tippy, come on in. Got good speed.
That's it.
Very nice.
Nice.
So, Tiffany, let me ask you. Your swing, it's very important for you to have good tempo. Because a two-planer, because your arms, your body's rotating on a more of a level plane, but your arms are going up in the air at a different plane, you have to make sure that you gather at the top. 1, 2, coming through. Is that correct? Whereas more of a one-planer, you're bent over more and you're turning more around you, tempo doesn't matter. So it's important for you to remember to be smooth and with a lot of good tempo. When you turn, I don't care if you're a one plane or a two plane, when you turn, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to turn. It's like if I were to turn to look behind me down the range and not move my feet, I'm going to turn and look down the range. Doesn't matter if you're a one plane or a two plane. At no time do you want to see your hips travel down the target line one way or the other, this way, and you're doing a little of that. You're a little bit out here, which gets you over your right foot, which is a little instability. Good. Up here with that. Good.
Nice job, Tiffany. Give her a round of applause.
Now, with the knowledge from one of the greats in PGA Tour history, it's time to hit the course. We'll tee it off and take a trip down memory lane with Peter and the other legends when we return to Broken Top right after this on the Oregon Sports Network. Welcome back to Broken Top for the Legends of Oregon. On the first hole of Broken Top, Mel and Cal Aho, Dean Kinnunen, and Joel Hill have at it as the winning bidders for Peter Jacobsen. One of the shorter par 4s on the course, the dogleg left is ideal for first hole jitters, which of course can happen when you're playing with a golfer who has earned nearly $8 million on tour in his career, a number that places him among the top 50 all-time tour players. His success is untouched for an Oregon golfer, but what makes Jacobsen so likable is not his success on tour, but the fact that he has never forgotten where he came from.
When you present that check, at the stadium, at halftime. What's that like for you to be able to give back to your university like that?
Well, I've always said that your university is only as strong as your alumni group that wants to help and give back. And I remember when I was at the U of O, we had a fantastic group of alumni that helped us out when we were in college. And I think a lot of us that left school have gone on, and one in particular was one of my fraternity brothers, Pat Kilkenny, who is such a great contributor to the University of Oregon Athletic Department, and he's a big part of the Legends Golf Tournament. So I'm trying to do my little bit in my way, and my way is through golf. Have some fun tonight, play some golf tomorrow, give away a few prizes, have a lot of laughs with a lot of good friends, and raise some money for the athletic department.
You talk about those laughs. I mean, these guys, maybe these guys think they're pretty good, and you come out and, I mean, it's kind of a fun tournament, isn't it? But it's also competitive. Can you just talk quickly about the tournament itself and kind of what you expect from a golf standpoint? Level, 1 to 10, where would you rank it?
Well, the golf originally started at probably a 2. Now it's probably close to an 8. Guys want to win. And that's why we keep bringing in a lot of the former golfers that played. We have Mike Davis, we've got Renee Baumgartner, Eric Johnson, we've had Ben Crane, Casey Martin, who's the new golf coach at Oregon, will be playing every year. So my brother David, who's played on the golf team down at U of O, he plays every year. The players want to win. They want to win the tournament.
How's it been different for you with all the success? I mean, when you're out on tour, when you're with your friends, when Oregon goes 10-1, the Fiesta Bowl, everything.
Well, it's huge. When Oregon does well in anything, I'm always tooting the horn of the Ducks. When they don't do very well, you don't talk about it. We all hope. And when Oregon went and beat Colorado in the Fiesta Bowl, when Joey Harrington just smoked everybody, everybody took notice because that was one of the top bowls, and Joey Harrington was one of the top players in the game. And University of Oregon has become one of the top teams in the country. If for the uniforms only, that's okay, because everybody talks about the Ducks and how colorful we are. But I say 2 things. Oregon wins, number 1, and number 2, you notice them. So we're doing our job.
Not only that, but people don't confuse Oregon and Oregon State anymore, do they?
No.
I mean, remember, did that happen to you a lot at the beginning?
It always happened. Oregon State. Now, Duck, but I'm also a proud Oregonian. When Oregon's not playing Oregon State, I pull for the Beavers. I've got to admit it. I pull for my state. I pull for my conference. I want USC to win the national championship if Oregon's not in it. I'll admit that right off the bat. But people would always say, do you go to Oregon or Oregon State? There's no mixing that up anymore. I went to Oregon for 4 years. Best 4 years of my life. I met my wife. She was a Pi Phi. I was a Kappa Sig. She played on the golf team. I played on the golf team. We went to a lot of football games. My 4 years at the University of Oregon were great years. I didn't have any problems. I had great teammates. I had great teachers. I had great peers there. I think it's the greatest campus in the whole country, and one of the greatest schools in this country.
And just finally, I'm sure people that are watching at home would want to know just about your game right now and how you're doing. I mean, obviously you've had some great success recently.
Yeah.
How you feeling? What's going on?
I feel pretty good for 52. I still play a little on the PGA Tour, but my exemptions run out. So I'm playing full-time on the Champions Tour. And other than battling this cold that I have right now, I feel really good. My game is good. I think my short game is probably as good as it's ever been, my chipping and putting, because I've worked so hard on it. A lot of guys can get it on the green, but you got to knock those putts in to win those tournaments.
Of course, a gracious host would never actually win his own tournament. A couple of pars to start the day, and Jacobson's group settles into the pack.
All righty.
Now, when we return, the other legends are underway. Some great quarterbacks trying to carry it out to the golf course as well. Fouts, Miller, Musgrave. Up next, when the Oregon Legends continues right after this. Welcome back to Broken Top Golf Club in Bend, Oregon, and Peter Jacobson's Legends of Oregon. Now, through the years, the Duck football program has taken small steps that have helped them arrive as the nationally elite program they are now. And you could trace those steps to the great quarterbacks that have played for the Ducks. Dan Fouts started the ball rolling on the football field for the Ducks, and then as a Hall of Fame quarterback with the San Diego Chargers. His group of O.J. Omlad, David Hillis, Len Bolton, and Dennis Oram made a consistent run at this Legends Championship, looking for a par on the 18th hole. Steady and stable. That's what Fouts brought to his group, and it's also what he brought to Oregon and his career as a broadcaster for ABC Sports. This year, taking on a new role.
Well, of course, pride has a lot to do with being an alum, and when you're an alum who's played the game, it's even doubled that, because you know what the kids are going through out there, and you know how hard it is to win, especially in the Pac-10. And you know, we're very proud of the program. Bilatti's done a great job, and we look forward to more and more success.
You lost your partner, and I know that'll be a big adjustment for you this year. Not only just changing jobs, changing roles, but not having him with you.
Well, you don't replace Keith Jackson. You know, I mean, he is the all-timer, and it's going to be a difficult transition, but one that I'll be counting on him for advice. And I told him he's already my consultant, so he wasn't too happy about that.
Fouts will try out his new play-by-play opportunity in a comfortable setting in Autzen Stadium on September 2nd when the Ducks open up against the Stanford Cardinal. No question, the best golfer among the former Oregon quarterbacks, Chris Miller, with a team of Matt Thomas, Rafe Lilisiv, Sherm Meyer, and Michael Toby. Here on the 12th hole, Miller putting for eagle. Not to be day, as even the birdie escapes. On the 14th hole, though, each player long off the tee and in for a couple of pars, now facing an uphill battle to stay in contention. And finally, in from Atlanta, former Duck great Bill Musgrave. Many credit him with setting the stage for what Oregon football would be, ending a 27-year bowl game drought. Now, 1 year without a bowl game is cause for panic. It's been quite a road for Musgrave after college, as you can imagine. It would be reasonably tough to stay in touch with his alma mater, since as a and a coach, he's already had stops in Dallas, San Francisco, Denver, Indianapolis, Oakland, Philadelphia, Carolina, Virginia, Jacksonville, Washington, and now Atlanta. Each stop, though, doesn't seem so far from his first love, the Oregon Ducks.
Well, it's exciting. I've been a big Falcon fan ever since 1987 when Chris Miller was drafted by the Falcons, and now they've got an athletic quarterback like Chris, of course in the form of Michael Vick. So it's fun for me to be associated with him, and we're really expecting to have a great year.
I think Oregon would be interested to know also how much you keep in touch with your university. You know, do you follow the Ducks? Do you know what's going on? And get a chance to talk to the coach a little bit and follow them a little bit in their games?
You bet, as best I can, and it's a fortunate situation where I got to play for Zoomer and Coach Bilatti, and they've continued to take the program to unprecedented levels. So I follow them religiously, and I think all of us alumni do across the country.
How about maybe if you look back at your career, maybe if you could pick out one moment that you would say was better than the other?
Well, there are a number of them. I know my senior year we had a fantastic year to go to the Freedom Bowl. I was always blessed to be on teams with great defenses, and I remember games in which we would win 16-10 and 10-7, and Danny Schuler and his defensive schemes would help us hang on by the skin of our teeth and win those games. One of the most memorable games, in fact, was probably one that I never played in my redshirt freshman year, in which we beat Colorado on a Matt McLeod kick. I remember Chris Miller bringing them back, and I was on the sideline, redshirt, and it was a fantastic game for me to witness from the sideline.
If you had to maybe look back on your time there, and people look at that as kind of the starting of what's happening now, do you look at it that way? I mean, what was the significance of that era of beating Washington and beating USC at home? I guess in your mind, what was the significance of those days, those years, to getting Oregon back on the map?
Well, 19 years ago, going into the season in 1987, Oregon hadn't been to a bowl game in 24 years. And then in 87 became year 24, 88 became year 25. So there was a drought there. And I think we all were confident that at some point that drought was going to end, and we just wanted to be the group that ended it.
Golf-wise, a great day on the course for Musgrave and his group, Ryan Pape, Jim Martin, Jerry Hendrickson, and Cameron Langham. In terms of fun, that is. In terms of scoring, well, a putt for par here on 11. Sends them to another bogey and out of contention. When we return, the return of Sign Boy, playing as an Oregon legend and a true legend, the leader of the Kamikaze Kids, Dick Harder, and more when we return to Peter Jacobson's Legends of Oregon from Broken Top, right after this on the Sports Network. in the shadows of Broken Top in Bend, Oregon. Welcome back to Peter Jacobson's Legends of Oregon. Now, you don't have to exactly be a Duck to be a legend, especially in your own mind. Where Matt Greaser comes in. Greaser, known as Sign Boy on the popular ads for FootJoy, has become a cult figure on the PGA Tour. He's also Jacobson's sidekick on the Golf Channel and has become a Duck fan by hanging out with Peter. He even witnessed the thrill of Autzen Stadium by taping a show from the field during a game. In this tournament, the word thrill doesn't exactly have the same meaning for Sign Boy or his teammates, Mark and Sid DeBoer, Rob Bennett, and Brian Osterhout, and their special guest out on the front nine at Broken Top.
See, that's what I like about my team. They paid top dollar for me, and I blocked a drive horribly off to the right. And my team, when they saw the camera, folded like a cheap paper bag. So you can tell. Oh, sorry. Sorry, the group's really excited. We're playing that well. Okay. Okay. Good times. Go Ducks. Okay.
Sure, they paid thousands of dollars, but you don't have to make every shot. Oh, God, there's the gag reflex.
Oh, that's not going to grab. And here's the walk up on one. First play, whole crowd going crazy.
Greaser is about a 10 handicap player, but it was not enough to pull his team to the victory. In terms of fun, they're the champions of that.
It's a tough life on the road, but Daddy made it work.
Yes.
You're the best, Daddy.
You're right, son.
Thanks for that car.
You bet.
Now, Kent, not able to play due to a nagging injury, but was able to give plenty of advice to all the groups at Broken Top. One of those groups, well, turnabout is fair play. Dick Harder, his old Kamikaze Kid coach, making it out of the Legends tournament and also showing some serious golf skills with his group of Paul Craig, Tom Sifferman, Terry Harrington, and Don Smith, starting the day with a birdie putt on their first hole, Broken Top number 12.
Good roll, Coach. Good roll, Coach. Good roll.
Harder's approach to golf, not quite as intense as he was as the Duck head coach after all these years as an assistant in the NBA, but still interested in the details and enjoying a resurgence in interest in the Ducks, especially with his pupil, now the teacher at Oregon. Here's Michael Burke catching up with the leader of the Kamikaze Kids, Dick Harder.
You know how important this is and how important it is, not only to you personally, but to the university that you be here.
Well, it's university. It's also Peter Jacobson, who's always been a great friend, and I'm happy to come to help Peter and the university out.
Obviously, this university meant a lot to you professionally, but personally, what does the University of Oregon mean to you?
Well, you know, you think back over many years in coaching, 50-plus years coaching, and I don't know if any 7 years were ever as much fun as Oregon was. I like the town, I like the people, I like my players, I like the university.
And Coach Kent comes up, gives you a big hug. Terrell Brandon, never played for you, knows who you are, came up, gave you a big hug and a handshake. That must mean a lot to you.
Well, Ernie, of course, means a lot to me. He's one of my players, and I think he's ready for a real breakout year next year, and I hope I can get out to see some games with him. And Terrell must be wishing he was back in Cleveland, because if he could throw that ball to that pretty good player there, he'd have even more assists.
The fact that everybody talks about the Kamikaze Kids so much, even to this day, 30, 35 years later, I mean, it's got to be very special for you.
Well, I hope they still talk about them a little
do.
bit. It's hard to believe after 35 years, but they were special, and they were special, I think, because of how hard they played. They weren't special because of any coaching technique or any magic other than just that they played exceptionally hard. And I look back on how hard they played and how aggressive we were, and I think that we set a standard for all teams. We played the game the right way.
Now, Harder's team was in contention with that early birdie, and they were able to stay there for the duration of the day with solid play through the challenge of Broken Top. When we return, some other basketball legends after the Kamikaze era, one who was called the best point guard in the NBA by Sports Illustrated, and another who has taken Europe by storm, Terrell Brandon and A.D. Smith, when Peter Jacobson's Legends of Oregon continues right after this. Welcome back to Peter Jacobson's Legends of Oregon here at Broken Top Golf Club in Bend, Oregon. A spectacular day for golf and to catch up with some of the true legends in the history of Oregon athletics. Now, when it comes to basketball, very few Ducks have actually played in the NBA, no less played for 11 seasons. Terrell Brandon not only played those years, he excelled. A two-time NBA All-Star and called the league's best point guard by Sports Illustrated, and who said you can't play the bank shot in golf too. Today, Brandon leading a solid group of Damon Uzon, Trevor Rowe, Scott Stamen, and Michael Weaver, the latter with an approach on number 1. The birdie putt? Whee! Just short. Brandon, though, finds happiness in dedicating his life to the Northeast Portland neighborhood he grew up in. Here is one of the all-time great guys in Oregon athletic history, Terrell Brandon with Michael Burke.
It feels good, man, just to, be a part of it. And, be here with my friend Peter, and, we're all proud of what he's been doing over the course of his career. And so to be called a legend, it's, most of the time you want to be humble. This time you have to accept it, you earned it, so.
Can you play golf a little bit?
Not really, but I'll try to look the part.
that's half the battle.
I'm trying.
There have been a lot of Ducks on the cover of Sports Illustrated, football-wise, but it's, basketball, you're the last one.
Yeah.
Talk about, these guys give you a hard time about that?
No, don't give me a hard time. It's just, how much I appreciate it. And there's not many people, there have been a lot of great players in different sports that never got the opportunity to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So when people still send me magazines for me to sign, and people still come in my barbershop in Portland and still show me, it's still like almost a shock to me, but I appreciate it.
How important was your time in Oregon to you in your development and becoming a great NBA player?
Just being a man, growing up in Eugene, that's where I became a man, and being on my own for the first time, and just learning my surroundings. And then as far as the basketball is concerned, Don Munson, he taught me my heart. He gave me my, the encouragement and the green light to be able to run the team, and I think that helped me pretty much going to Cleveland, sitting behind Mark Price and learning. All that teaching came from Don Munson.
Now, on the other side of the course, another Duck who played professional basketball, but he played on the other side of the ocean. Fan favorite A.D. Smith and Kelly Sato, Patrick Wild, Jacob Johnson, and Joe Vaughn here on hole number 4. Smith has not had a chance to play much golf over the last 6 years. He's been busy playing basketball all over Europe. Here, though, looking for a birdie. Almost, and with that, out of contention. But a day with AD brings back some great memories.
Just got home 2 weeks ago from France. Been playing overseas for 6 years now.
Has it been everything you thought it would be? I mean, to be an international world traveler, man of mystery, playing basketball?
It's been fun. It's been fun. My wife and daughter and I have been there for the last 2 years, 6 years total, and probably about 4 years I'd play. There's a good chance I think we'll be retiring after this last year, so we're happy to be home. 10 months out of the year in Europe. We like it, but we're always happy to come home.
What about some of your best memories? I mean, would you consider the mask games? I mean, if you had to go back and draw out 1 or 2 of your best memories, what would they be?
At Oregon? Yeah, I mean, our last year was really good. I mean, playing with Darius right now at Scales and Freddie when he was young. I mean, that whole year was a lot of fun. I mean, it felt like we had some good years going up to it, but I think we finished 3rd in the conference and played some just really awesome games at Matt Court, and probably one of the better road teams that Oregon's ever had. We played well on the road, so I mean, I still stay in touch with those guys, Darius and Alex, and I mean, people know that, but when you don't think about it so much, it's the guys that you're around all the time and the memories you have together more than it is all the basketball stuff.
When you see fans, when you come home, do people always remind you about the mask game? People seem to remember that one because you had broken nose, right?
Broken cheekbone, yeah.
Broken cheekbone, it was like Jason coming onto the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I look back at it as being lucky. I mean, I hadn't missed a game in 100 games at Oregon, and with 2 games to go in the regular season, I break most of the bones in my face. So if it would have been a rolled ankle or something, I would have been done. I was lucky that I got to come back and play. So.
How about the golf? What do you think? I mean, you played not a lot of golf courses in Europe, so.
No, I play when I get home, usually in the summer. I just got home 2 weeks ago, so I haven't played a lot. This is, I think, my 7th year at this event, and it's a great event. I mean, people are always excited to have Thursday and Friday off of work and to be excited to see some of the great names in Oregon history, and I'm always happy to come and play, and I'm happy to play golf anywhere.
And Duck fans will be happy to have AD back stateside if he chooses to hang up his European sneakers. Back out on the course, several groups making a run at the Legends Championship. Tim Roberts, the general manager of ESPN Regional, Andy Moore, Eric Forrest, Oregon Associate AD Mike Marlowe, and former Duck golfer Crystal Tamori on the third hole. Once again, the scoring system takes the two best scores on each hole as each player plays their role. For this group, it's clear they've purchased a ringer in Tamori. Another group in contention, well, they get a day-long golf lesson. Mike Lee, Kurt Henninger, Jim Etzel, and Fares Rustum, who are playing with former USC player and coach and former Oregon golf coach Renee Baumgartner. Baumgartner, now the Senior Associate Women's Administrator at Oregon, here on 18. Another group near the top of the leaderboard, Bob Bolin, Sarah Odell, Jane West, and Libby Finrow, over on the 9th hole with Jerry Kandari. Well, in striking range with a nice chip, but then Kandari needs to save par. The margin for error here today to win this thing, razor thin. The competitive nature at Legends, of course, is very strong, but it's nothing compared to the desire here by all participants to help all programs at Oregon be championship caliber. Naturally, that brings us to the men with the rings, from Mike Bellotti, who has 3 Pac-10 championship rings, to several of the men who earned one by playing for him. That and more when we return to Broken Top for Peter Jacobsen's Legends of Oregon right after this. Welcome back to Peter Jacobsen's Legends of Oregon. Over the years, this tournament has seen its share of Hall of Famers, and Oregon fortunate to have NFL Hall of Famer Dave Wilcox year in, year out in the Legends tournament. Wilcox, of course, the great star of the 49ers, has played some golf in his day. The Intimidator, as he was known during his playing days, does some of that on the course as well, with his playing partners, Chris Bly, Don Green, Jim Boris, and Robert Perry Smith. Here on 17, needing an up and down for par.
That's the hole. Whoa! Are you money or are you money?
Not bad for a guy who played in 7 Pro Bowls during his career. Of course, one thing that eluded Wilcox, the ring. His son, Josh, won one in 1994 on the Pac-10 championship team that battled Penn State in the Rose Bowl. On that team, Alex Molden, who went on to an 8-year NFL career with the Saints, Chargers, and Lions, with Todd Seidel, Eric Dufort, Kurt Zimmerman, and Randy Fisher. Definitely a team in contention. Molden safely on, and now Zimmerman looking for an eagle. Well, the birdie will go, and Molden's team holds the lead for 12 holes. Lead by one of the most steady, understated, but effective players in Oregon history.
No, man, it's great to be able to see guys, Chad Coda, Coach Aliotti, you know, a bunch of the other coaches from wrestling or basketball from the past. So yeah, it's really good to see some of those faces.
You had such a nice NFL career. Does it seem like your time at the U of O was so long ago?
You know what? It doesn't. Just because some of the things that we went through, starting at the bottom of the Pac-10 and then kind of, you know, making baby steps until we finally, you know, kind of reached, I wouldn't say the pinnacle, but, you know, made it to the Rose Bowl, winning the Pac-10, and then, you know, repeating, going to another New Year's Day Bowl, going to Cotton Bowl. You know, those are really special in my heart. My years at Oregon, you know, watched me grow, you know, going there when I was 17, and, you know, I mean, going in as a boy, leaving a man, you know, so that's deep.
You talked about the baby steps that got you up to the '94 Rose Bowl. Is there one thing in particular you can remember that got you guys over the hump?
We had a team meeting, and we kicked all the coaches out. It was just, you know, the leaders called it, you know, some of the seniors, I believe Danny O'Neill, Ricky Whittle, Chad Coda, a couple other guys, we called it, and we kind of just vented out. And we kind of, you know, everybody, it was one of those things where we had to define, you know your role. You know, because if you try to do somebody else's role, or if you try to do too much, you know, you're going to be, you know, stuck in the same place. So it's all about knowing your roles. And we knew our roles a little bit, you know, telling us, but then when it's coming from your peers, it means a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So I think during that meeting, it was about half an hour long, where we kind of vented, we kind of aired, you know, what was going on, and basically it was like, hey, we're better than this. We know it. We got the athletes, we got the talent, we got the coaching staff. Everything is right here for the taking. Let's go out there and do it.
One of Molden's teammates, and just in front of him on the defensive side of the ball when they played, Chad Cota here on 18, with his group of Craig Turner, Gary Kupke, Dan Sweet, and Parker. On the heels of 2 straight birdies by Turner. Taking over the lead here on 18.
We are styling. Take advantage of that big drive.
Of course, Cota came to Oregon from Ashland. He led the Ducks to the Rose Bowl, played in the NFL for 8 years as well, and retired at the top of his game. Legend? Absolutely. Here he is with Michael Burke.
Talk about being here. What it means to see your former teammates, to see your coaches, and just to be a part of this great event.
Oh, this is my 3rd or 4th year doing this, and I'll come back every year. So it's a lot of fun. Great time to get back with the coaches, see Aliotti, Bellotti, and some of the old players too. So it's a great event. Raise a lot of money for the Ducks, and it's a lot of fun.
What do you remember most about your 4 years at Oregon?
Oh, I mean, definitely that Rose Bowl year. Just some crazy games, and just how excited the fans were, the whole state, and you know, a lot of pressure on us at the end, but we pulled through and got to the big game.
How important was that season to this program?
I mean, you talk to a lot of people, and I think as far as getting us over that hump and taking to where we get those big recruits and taking us to that next level, I think it was really important for it.
And Rich left for the NFL, and that, you know, just by proxy put Oregon's program on the map.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that happened good from that Rose Bowl. Even though you lose the game, the appearance was big.
Oh yeah, still a lot of positive, and definitely Coach Brooks, he took a lot of guys on. Also, right there you get a lot of exposure, maybe get more of our players in the NFL through that route too. But and just taking our program to putting it on the map, you know, to the East Coast and the Midwest, where Oregon wasn't really known for football, but just people recognizing us, definitely.
Both Molden and Cota give tons of credit to one guy for their rings and Rose Bowl, and also for jump-starting their NFL careers, a man intimately involved in all 3 Oregon Pac-10 championships of the last 11 seasons, Nick Aliotti. He has more than anyone else at Legends, and maybe the golf game to match, at least as a member of a team that includes great Oregon supporter and alum Pat Kilkenny of San Diego, Mike White, John Kilkenny, and Pete Anderson. On the 7th hole, the group with several birdie attempts. That close to being in contention, but nonetheless a great day of golf for him, and a day of thanks to Coach Aliotti, entering his 31st year of coaching, more than half of them as a Duck. Of course, Aliotti has been part of an amazing team off the golf course and inside Autzen Stadium, a partnership with Mike Bellotti that has produced all those championships, NFL players, outstanding student athletes, and the camaraderie that is unique to Oregon football. Now entering his 12th year as the head coach, a career spawned from his role as the offensive coordinator that brought Oregon to the Rose Bowl, the unquestioned dean of Pac-10 coaches, and one heck of a golfer too. Back to the 2nd hole with his partners Richard Doherty, Dick Clark, Rick Wilkes, and Chris Wood on line for a birdie. Of course, it's hard to assess the impact from a legend standpoint when someone's still working, but even if he were to stop today, consider these numbers. 90 wins and just 42 losses. 2 wins away from winning more games than any other coach in Oregon history, and already with the best winning percentage. He passed Len Casanova last year and will pass Rich Brooks with that 2nd win this year. He has 37 more wins than any other coach who is currently in the Pac-10 or has coached in the league since 1995. Personable, affable, accessible, and a true gentleman. Mike Bellotti, one of the giant legends in Oregon history, with more to be written. All right, when we return here on Comcast, and thanks to Comcast for making this day possible, down to a couple of groups, 2 players who played with each other, squaring off for the Legends Championship. Wes Mallard and Justin Peel when we return to Broken Top right after this. Welcome back, everyone, into the final holes at Broken Top, and down to just a few teams with a chance to win the Legends Championship. One of them, the team of Bill Johnson, Chris Condon, Tom Shipley, and Gary Fish. Of course, it's not hard to be in the running when you've got one of the most successful pro golfers to ever come out of the state of Oregon in Eric Johnson on your team. With that, Johnson's team wins the gross scoring, proving that EJ still has and can still play at the highest levels. Pretty good tournament as well for the team of Jim Bartko, the venerable Ken O'Neill, Mike Doherty, and Dave Frey. And former Duck golfer Cam Martin on that team here on the 8th hole. Martin with a birdie attempt. Keep curling. With the par, the team settles back into the pack a little bit, and they're joined there by Denny Boom, Kurt Cameron, Greg Mosier, Dan Corfey, and Wesley Mallard, one of the most popular Ducks of the past 10 years. Mallard, a key component of the 2000 and 2001 Oregon football champions on the 13th. And now a birdie putt for Mallard. Wes and his group all settle for pars here, but a day that Mallard is honored to be a part of.
What about being here, though? I mean, it's more than golf and what you shoot, how you score.
I mean, it's just, it's just fun to come out here and meet a lot of the alumni, a lot of the, people that support us and supported us when we played. It's just a good chance for us to get to meet these people.
And it means you're a legend, or it means you're old?
No,
we'll take legend.
I think it means we're old. I don't know if we can be considered legends yet, or myself yet. So,
how's everything going for you with the at the next level now?
It's going good. I'm down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now, so down there in that heat.
You in Finney?
Oh, Finney, we've got trucks down there too. So
yep, that's right.
Yeah, it's going good down there.
To the 10th hole now, where one of the all-time good guys to ever wear an Oregon uniform, punter Josh Bidwell, is long off the tee. 300 yards right down the middle, not unlike his season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bidwell earning his first Pro Bowl.
What do you think about it? Since you're the old veteran now coming back every
Yeah,
time.
well, it's a great venue. Broken Top's probably one of my favorite places on the planet. I hope to live here someday, but the event obviously is amazing. It shows a lot of class that guys are flying in from all over the country to play this thing, to support Oregon athletics. And
how's it going for you? Did you know it would work out this way?
You never
have the year you had last year.
You never know that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of a podunk guy out of Winston, Oregon, and I just wanted to get in. And my goal was just to kind of go in, get 1 year under my belt, try to get another year, and just keep going at that pace. And then to have my 7th year come around and I go to the Pro Bowl, I wouldn't have dreamed that at all. So certainly blessed and pleased to have the opportunities I've had so far.
How about just if you could pick out one of your greatest memories at Oregon? Just pick it out of the blue. I know it's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I would have to start with just going there, not expecting Oregon to be that great, and we go to the Rose Bowl. It was just a red shirt, but I thought, wow, what momentum. And then we go the next year and head down to the Cotton Bowl, and it just seemed like we were on the rise from there. So probably my first 2 years will stick out the most.
Tim Breedlove, Jeff Schroeder, Dean Altenhofen, and John Chisholm get the chance to play with Bidwell here at Broken Top, here on 16 pars all around.
Good eagle, Josh.
All right, over to 12, where Justin Peel is having the round of the day. Peel, the former Duck tight end, now with the Dolphins, has never shot under 90. But his career in the NFL, starting with the Chargers and now moving to Miami, is leading to more golf opportunities. Legends just one of them. It's also a chance for him to relive some of the great moments he had as an Oregon Duck.
What do you look forward to most when you come back?
Honestly, now that I'm in Miami, probably the scenery out here. I forgot how gorgeous it is with the hills and the mountains and the snow and everything. It's gorgeous out here.
Tell me about that move now from San Diego to Miami and what you hope to see and actually get to play with Joey and
yeah,
it's like.
I'm excited. I enjoyed my time in San Diego. It was a great place, but it was time for me to move on, and it's a new beginning for me and more so for Joey, obviously. But it's just it's a new opportunity for both of us, so I'm excited about it.
And as you fight to get a little playing time, I mean, isn't it kind of ironic that it would have come around and possibly get a touchdown pass from your old.
Oh, I know. How about that? He's actually was living on my couch for the last 4 or 5 weeks. But no, it's a good situation. It's fun to be out there and playing with him again.
The most memorable moment for you when you played at Oregon, what would it be?
I'd have to say the Arizona State game in Tempe my junior year.
Big comeback.
The big comeback. Actually, it's my highest and lowest moments of Oregon, where I got stopped on the one and then fumbled, and I caught the ball and put us into overtime, and we won in overtime. Great. Joey and I were actually just talking about that a little while ago. That was probably my highlight. That one or the Civil War my senior year.
That Arizona State game, though, that's going to go down as one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there were so many things into that game with the. I don't know if you remember the night before we sat on the runway in Eugene until, we had 3-hour delay here, and we didn't get into Tempe until like 12:30 or something like that. We had a 12 o'clock game. It was hot. It was 40 degrees when we left Eugene. It was 85 when we landed in Tempe. There's so many in that game, and we didn't play well in the first half, but we found a way to win like we always did that year.
Golf-wise on this day, he's clearly playing up to his team's level, breaking that 90 barrier for the first time. Now to the 13th with his group, Michael Fitzpatrick, John Keane, John Harris, and Arlen Maldonado for birdie.
Hit it. Oh, yeah. That's the second birdie we've shot all day.
And in the end, even though they didn't know it at the time, needing Peel's par putt to win the tournament. In the end, it is Oregon that wins overall tournament. Once again, Jacobson's Legends of Oregon raising more than $200,000 in less than 24 hours. This year, topping out at $220,000. The money used for scholarships, facilities, and support for the student athletes who are and will become Ducks. Athletes that will have the opportunity, thanks to these legends, to one day become an Oregon legend in their own right. Yeah! Well, we hope you had as much fun reliving some of the great moments in Oregon history and reconnecting with these Oregon legends as we did. A great experience and a great day with these exceptional people. Hope you enjoyed the trip to Broken Top and down memory lane. So, for Michael Burke, photographers Roger Waterman and Scott Phillips, with a special thanks to ESPN Regional, the good folks at Comcast, the Duck Athletic Fund, and Broken Top Golf Club in Bend, and especially the man who started this all and has given so much back to his university, Peter Jacobson. I'm Joe Johnsante. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon when the Ducks open against the Stanford Cardinal on September 2nd from Autzen Stadium. So long from Broken Top.